If you're trying to learn English, you're in the right place. One of the easiest and most fun ways to improve your English is through listening to stories. Real stories, told in simple language but with interesting ideas, can help you learn without even noticing. So before we start, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss tomorrow's story. Every single day, we share something exciting to help you improve your English naturally.
And the best part?
While you're listening, you're learning real sentence structures, common expressions, and useful vocabulary without boring lessons. That's the magic of storytelling. So let's begin. It started with an old painting.
A simple painting, really.
It was hanging in a dusty little shop near the train station where he never usually stopped. But that day, he had more time than usual, and something about the shop window made him pause. Inside, everything smelled like books and forgotten things. The painting caught his eye right away.
It wasn't signed.
It didn't even look very expensive. But there was something about the way the colors blended, the shadows behind the trees, the shape of the hills in the distance. The place in the painting looked real.
He couldn't stop staring.
The painting showed a winding path through tall grass, a wooden fence, and a small house with smoke coming out of the chimney. Behind it, hills rose softly into a cloudy sky. He felt something in his chest, something that pulled at him like a memory he couldn't place. Without really thinking, he bought it. It cost less than a sandwich. He brought it home and hung it on the wall next to his bed. That night, he kept waking up to look at it. In the quiet of the early morning, he sat on his bed and stared at the hills again. He couldn't shake the feeling that the place was real. Not just a nice scene, but an actual location somewhere, waiting to be found. For the next few days, he looked at the painting every chance he got. He took photos of it, zoomed in, studied every detail. Then he opened his laptop and started searching. He didn't even know what to type at first. Painting with hills and smoke. Old house in grass field.
Nothing helped.
Then he noticed something strange in the corner of the painting, a tiny shape he hadn't seen before.
It looked like a sign.
He zoomed in and saw what looked like a few blurry letters. After adjusting the contrast, he could just make out a word.
Maybe a town? Or a name?
He typed the word into a search engine and found nothing. Or at least nothing clear. But a couple of forums mentioned similar places in the countryside, far from cities, near old rail lines. He didn't have much to go on, but that didn't stop him. Something inside told him he had to try. So he packed a bag. He didn't know where he was going exactly, but he printed out a few blurry maps, grabbed the photo of the painting, and hopped on a train heading west. The train moved through cities first, then towns, and finally green fields and forests. He got off at a small station with a name that sounded familiar. Maybe he'd seen it in one of the forums. He walked for hours. Every turn in the road, every fence, every hill made his heart beat faster.
Was this it? No, not quite.
But maybe the next one. Eventually, he reached a dirt path that looked almost exactly like the one in the painting. The grass was taller than he expected, and the air smelled of rain and leaves.
A wooden fence stretched along the path.
In the distance, a small chimney rose behind some trees. His breath caught in his throat.
He followed the path, heart pounding. As he turned a corner, he saw it. The house.
It was older than in the painting, maybe abandoned now, but it was definitely the same place. The same hills behind it, the same trees swaying gently in the wind. He stood there for a long time, just breathing.
He stepped closer. The wooden door was half open.
Inside, it was quiet. Dust covered the floor, and cobwebs hung from the ceiling. But someone had lived here once.
He could feel it.
He walked through each room slowly. In the kitchen, he saw a table with 2 chairs, and a mug still sitting as if someone had just left. A photo sat on the shelf above the fireplace, two people standing in front of the very house he was now inside.
He looked closer.
The woman in the photo was holding something. It was the same painting. He sat down slowly, staring at the photo. What were the chances? Was it the original artist?
A memory? A message?
That night, he slept in the old house. He made a small fire in the fireplace using broken pieces of wood. He ate a sandwich he had packed and wrapped himself in his jacket. The wind blew outside, but he felt safe, like he belonged there. The next morning, the sun rose behind the hills. He stepped outside and watched the light touch the trees and the grass, just like in the painting. It was the same feeling again, like a memory he never had. He pulled out a notebook and started writing. Not facts or directions, but feelings. What it smelled like, what the light looked like, how the silence felt. He stayed there for several days. Each morning, he walked the same path. Each afternoon, he explored the nearby woods. He found a small stream, a few broken fences, and the remains of a garden. He cleaned the dust from the windows, fixed the door so it closed properly, and left flowers on the windowsill. One evening, while walking near the edge of the forest, he found something else, a box buried under an old tree. It was a wooden box with a rusted lock, but it opened easily. Inside, there were letters. Dozens of them. All written in neat handwriting, some in pencil, others in fading ink. They spoke of love, waiting, dreams, and memories. They were written by someone who had once lived in the house, written to someone who never returned. He read every one. Some made him smile. Others made his eyes sting. It was a story of a life, of a person who had poured their thoughts onto paper, then hidden them under the tree. Maybe they were never meant to be found, or maybe they were. Maybe that's why the painting existed, to guide someone back. He didn't take the letters with him. He returned them to the box, placed it back under the tree, and covered it carefully. But he knew the story now. And it was part of him. When he finally returned home, he looked at the painting again. It didn't feel like a mystery anymore. It felt like a door he had walked through. A place he had known in another time. And now, whenever he looked at it, he remembered the hills, the old house, the fireplace, the letters, and the feeling of standing in the exact place someone once painted long ago. His life didn't change in a big, dramatic way. But something inside shifted. He started noticing more. The way light moved through windows, the sound of leaves, the small details in everyday life. He talked less, listened more. He carried a notebook with him and wrote down the little things. A smile from a stranger. The sound of rain on glass. A familiar smell in a new place. He also visited more places with no destination in mind. Sometimes he found an old road or a forgotten path and followed it just to see where it went. He wasn't looking for anything specific anymore. He just liked the idea that something unexpected might be waiting. Months passed. Then one day, he was walking past the same dusty shop near the train station. A new painting was hanging in the window. He smiled. And that's the end of today's story. But before you go, here's the most powerful thing you should remember. You just listened to a full English story and probably didn't even notice how many useful sentence structures, natural expressions, and real vocabulary you picked up. That's the magic of listening to stories like this every day. It's learning without pressure. So if you enjoyed it, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you'll get tomorrow's story right when it drops. We're here every single day with new adventures to help you improve your English the fun way. And now tell us in the comments, if you found a painting of a place you didn't know, would you go searching for it? See you tomorrow.